So what is that one US stock which you can put in your watch list for potentially more upside and to kind of like catch the reversal, right, based on all the weakness they have seen in the markets over the past few months? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier reminder trader in Philips Securities, and in today's video we'll be talking of just one US stock. So this stock has been one of my favorite stocks. I think most of you would know this stock as well. Alright, so make sure you watch this video all the way to the end because I'll talk about this stock, why it looks quite attractive now, especially if certain levels are breached. That's where we might start to see the reversal happen quite quickly, and why it could be a good level to kind of like on dips to kind of get in to catch any rebounds in the longer term or maybe in the short term as well. That's where if we hit to certain levels we can potentially see some good bargain hunting, right? So this is one of those stocks that I like, and this stock is none other than Apple, right? Apple is one of those really popular stocks as well. A lot of people have been asking me about Apple, and in this video we'll be talking about Apple, all right, why I like it in the long term. In the short term, if certain levels are hit, all right, certain levels are broken through, it can look quite good as well for a good reversal, so you can definitely put this stock in your watch list as well, right? So let's dive into Apple right now. We'll look at the charts. I'll do a quick analysis of the charts, and then we'll even look at the system that I have. I have a system called 1GT, One Good Trend. So we look at the system to see what it says over the past few months. Were there actually any bullish signals or maybe even the bearish signals coming out when we saw the sell down over the past few months, and what does it say right now? Let's go. So this is Apple right here, stock code AAPL, one of those really popular US stocks, but it's really liquid, quite volatile as well sometimes. And this is Apple trading at about 148.71 right here, 148.71. So let me just do a quick analysis of this chart right here before we dive into the system to see what it says. So you can see that the trend, I would say that over the longer term since like 2020, we have been pretty much in a very strong long-term uptrend. We can actually draw what we call an upward sloping channel support line right here, or maybe just to connect over here as well. You can see we have been pretty much in a strong uptrend, forming what we call higher lows, right, whereby it's kind of like touch and kind of like rebounded. Okay, let me just go draw it for you right here. So that's what we call higher lows, and this is a upward sloping green channel support line. So you can touch your rebounded, all right, rebounded, and of course right over here we kind of broke this support level, this channel support line, whereby of course the market started to weaken as well over the past 2 months, and we kind of broke the channel support. So there are some signs of weakness in the short term that has crept in as well for Apple, right? But overall in the longer term, since like 2020, all right, May, for about 2 years, we have been in a pretty decent long-term uptrend, right, for Apple. So let me just go to remove these lines right here. You can see that in terms of the moving averages as well, in terms of the red line, the 100 days moving average, and the blue line, they have been pretty much pointing up. You can see red above the blue line, so very gentle, longer term uptrend intact. But of course in the short term we did see some selling, like when COVID hit, there's some selling here as well, a couple of consolidation, and eventually you can see that we hit a high of about 185 over the past 4 to 5 months, and we saw selling coming in again, right? So can there actually be a reversal coming in soon, right? When is the bottom? When what are some signs that we can look out for to see that it can kind of like hit the bottom and we can potentially see a reversal? So let's dive into this analysis right now. So again, let me just go to draw what we call horizontal support and resistance lines before I explain to you, right? I would say that this is pretty much a resistance right now at 150. Okay, I'll explain to you in a bit. This is another resistance at about 180 to 185. You can see right here, we kind of like touch it, came down, touch it, came down, we neared it about 3 to 4 times, and we just couldn't break the 180. And of course we rebounded again, and it started to sell again on talks about rate hikes and all that. The rest of the market sold off. Apple definitely was not spared as well, and it kind of like sold off from that 180 resistance level right here. All right, so that's a bit of resistance. 150, look at this right here. 150 was a little bit of a support level. In fact, we have like rebounded from it in March after the first rate hike of 0.25% was introduced. We actually kind of rebounded from it very strongly from 150 all the way up to 180, and then we sold off again, right? So 150 was actually quite a good support level, whereby I kind of like anticipated that buyers might start to come back again over the past 1-2 months, and it could be a really good good entry to ride any rebound, right? But we did not really see like any bullish reversal candles right here like what we've seen in March. This was a pretty good bullish candle, another bullish candle here as it approached that 150, but you can see that we kind of broke this 150 somewhere around 10th of May, 1st and 2nd week of May. We broke this 150 support. There was no bullish reversal signal. If there was, that's a good thing. That's where we can see like a potential rebound from here, maybe all the way up like what we've seen back to that 180 like what we've seen. But unfortunately we did not hold above that 150. We broke down as the market weakened, all right, and we kind of like traded lower all the way to the next support level. So let me just draw it for you. What is the next support level? I would say right over here somewhere around that 135 level. Look at this right here. So 135 would be, I would say, the next support level. You can see this was originally the resistance level in April last year. All right, a little bit of resistance as well. You can see kind of like touch. It came down, and eventually last year June we broke above this. Let me just show it for you right here. We broke above this resistance, so it was like a bit of a resistance here. We broke above and we actually traded upwards. We came back down, retested this level again around the 135, 140, and we started to push up to like the 180. And you can see that right now we actually traded lower, right? So we broke this like 150, neared this like about 135 to 140. You see over the past few days we have started to see a little bit of a bargain hunting coming back right here at the next support level, and that would be that 135. In fact, if you want to give a little bit of allowance, we can put it as about that 130 as well. So let me just give a little bit of allowance. I think these are all pretty good longer term support levels. We are pretty much back to where we were in 2021, 2020 as well. You can see right here pretty decent support levels, 130 to 135. Write it down. You can see that over the past like 1 to 2 weeks we have traded towards that level, and buyers actually started to come back up. In fact, we've got quite a good bullish candle here as well. You can see right here, it kind of went to a low of around 132, and buyers came up and it kind of like closed somewhere at the high of the day. So this is what we call something like a hammer, whereby we got a long lower shadow, all right, which can be a good thing. It shows that buyers are starting to come back on dips as we head towards the 130 to 135 level. So I think if you kind of like hit to that level, I'm not too sure whether you will hit down for you to buy, but if you actually hit down to this pretty decent support levels again, that's where potentially we can see some good bargain hunting coming back again. All right, but let's talk about the resistance level right now. So I talk about this 150 level, right? So this 150, as I mentioned, was a really good support level that we bounded once in March, and in fact I kind of expected it to hold, especially if we see some good bullish reversal candle, but it did not actually happen, right? It did not happen. We broke it, it came down back, and you can see that right now this 150 support, all right, support now it has turned to what we call a resistance level. That means the 150 has been broken, the support has now become the resistance. Over the past 3 days, right? Over the past 3 days, you can see that we kind of like neared this level, and there are some, I would say, heavy profit taking happening right now, which is normal. I mean, the fact that we have rebounded from like 130, 135, 135 to about 150 like that, about like 10 to 14, 13% upside. That's where people might want to take some profit as well. So it's normal to see a little bit of selling near 150, but the thing I'm going to drive at is that this 150 level I think is pretty important for now. I think if we were to break this 150 level, if we can kind of like close above that 150, 152, 155, 154, above 150, because right now you can see that it actually went above. In fact, yesterday, right, last night it went to a high of about 151.74, right? So it went above 150, but sellers came back and pushed it back down, and it kind of like closed at like 148, right, which is below 150. So not a good thing. I mean, it just shows that sellers are still there to push prices back down below 150. So you have to see, right? I think if we can break and close above that 150, that could be a good thing. We might start to see the reversal back up. If not, then unfortunately that would now be kind of like the range right now from maybe about 135 to 150. I think that is pretty much the range right now, and hopefully, as I say, if we to break this 150 here, right here, if we break it, or eventually we break at 150, that's where the upside reversal can actually happen firmer, right? The upside reversal can happen firmer all the way up to maybe around that 165. Let me just draw for you what would be the next upside targets just above that 150. I think right over here, that is where we have another resistance level somewhere around there, maybe about 170, right? 170, you can see might be a little bit of a resistance there as well. 165 to 170, that could be the next upside we can hit to just after the 150 level. All right, and of course when that happens, you can see that this green line, right, this green line is the 20 days moving average. So all this while, right, you can see that when we broke this green line, this is the 20 days moving average, you can see it was like pointing down and prices below the green line. It's a short-term moving average. So we broke this like 170 support somewhere in April. All right, yeah, we actually went below the green line as well, and it went down, down, down. All right, and we actually went down to like 130. But right now you can see that prices have actually gone above this 20 days moving average. Right here you can see we're just slightly above, just slightly above this green line. So that's a good thing. I mean, at least we are above it. I mean, all this while we're like below for more than a month. For about 2 months we're below this green line that's pointing down. So right now we are above it, but you can see that this green line is pretty much still pointing down, right? Pointing down. So not a clear signal yet. As I say, if we can break this 150 level, or if we can break and close above that 150, I think this green line will slowly start to slope upwards. So it's slope upwards, prices above the green line pointing up. And if we were to go above that 150 as well, these are all good signs of a good reversal coming back. And that's where we can see the recovery of Apple actually playing out all the way back to 165 to that 170. All right, so this is Apple right here, trading about 148. Let's see how it plays out again. All right, so let's take a look at the system that I have, the 1GT, one good trend system that I have, to see what it says. We had a couple of bullish signals since last year. Of course, had some bearish one that came out over the past few months when it sold off and the market weakened. So let's see what it says right now. Okay, so this is Apple here on my 1GT, one good trend system, whereby we had a couple of good bullish and even bearish signals that have came out over the past few months and even last year as well, right? So it's been a pretty good, decent uptrending counter since last year, and I'll not go too far, but I think somewhere around like June last year, got a bullish signal. You can see that's where the trend bar has started to turn from red to green in color. So like July all the way to somewhere around like February, March this year, that's where the trend started to turn a little bit from like green to red in color, and we are still red right now, right? But a couple of good bullish signal, right? So one bullish signal somewhere in June went up, another bullish signal somewhere in October, started to see it push up, gonna exit, another bullish signal went up, and we kind of hit to a high, I think somewhere around the 180 to 185 resistance level I talked about, and a couple of bearish signal around there came down a little bit, some new bullish signal that came out, and then we got an exit right here. So let me just zoom into right here. You can see that this was pretty much the exit on 7 April, and then we started to see the market started to sell down as well, and of course Apple kind of broke this 170 level after this exit. So it's like a down arrow pointing down, so not so good. It means that there's some selling pressure coming back again. It's good to also get out as well from the previous bullish signal. So after we got this down arrow, you can see started to hit down, another bearish signal that came out as well right here. That was somewhere in 2nd May. You can see after that we kind of like traded sideways a little bit and it went down. We got another bearish signal, went down, and most recently you can see right here we got arrow pointing up. This is what we call an exit, right? An exit from the previous bearish signal, right? So there are some signs of strength. I mean, I wouldn't say like a reversal all the way up strength, but more like, you know, the selling pressure has come like, you know, toned down a little bit weaker in terms of the selling pressure, and buyers are starting to come back up. So if you have like taken like short positions here to right all the way from like 170, 160 down, that's where you could also take like a long position to cover back the shorts. That's what you can do, alright, in terms of the exit signal from this bearish signal, right? So there aren't any new bullish signal out right now, but as I say, this 150, the 150 is a really critical resistance level. I think if we can break that 150 level, hang above, hold above over the next few days above 150, I think that could be a good sign of strength. That's where we might even see like a new bullish signal coming out, all right, and that's where you can lead the reversal all the way back up to like 165 to maybe 170, all right. But yeah, so this is what it says on the 1GT system. We got a couple of bearish signal on the recent sell down since like March, April, but we have a recent exit. There are no new bullish signal, but we'll see if that comes out and that if that can lead the reversal all the way back up for Apple. Alright, so there we have it, guys. I hope you like this video, and if you do like this video, go ahead to give me a like, and of course smash the subscribe button so that you will not miss out on any new videos like this, right? So we have pretty much covered Apple, one of those really popular stocks in the US market, like Tesla and all that. People are looking into Apple, so it can be a good bargain if you hit to certain levels that I talk about, the 130, 135. I think these are where buyers are starting to come back up, and of course the resistance at 150, 150 is key. We definitely want to break that level to see the upside reversal start to happen firmly, right? So I hope you like this video, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, all right? And of course, leave your comments below. What is your takeaway on this video on Apple? What's your comments on Apple? Can we start to see a bottom soon? Can we start to see a reversal? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer each and every one of the comments, right? So Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to see you in the next video.